Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Live Strong podcast. We are already at episode 5, and before we know it, we would have done it like 500 of these bad boys. Nah, not really, but I feel like I'm becoming a low-key professional at this podcasting world, only because I'm really trying to find a bit of a groove with it. Like, I feel like I'm finding it easy to set up and upload and have conversations with myself sitting on the lounge. But I've been really enjoying it, to be completely honest with you all. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying listening. I know that a lot of my clients, like a lot of the guys at the gym, are the people who are listening to this. So hopefully I've been able to maybe inspire some thoughts in your brain, or maybe you found it a bit interesting learning about myself, or obviously I had like Nathan last week. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. If you are, make sure that you're, following the podcast, liking the podcast, doing all the things so that other people can like and enjoy it as well. Now, how's everyone's week been? I'm recording this on a Wednesday. I dare say I'll upload it today. I'm literally like, I film it, I only edit out like the beginning and the end. I don't really edit, like I literally just do it in one take. It's really raw. I crop the ends off and then I just upload it. I don't really think about it too much. I don't think it's that deep, to be honest. I think that's really my whole motto is like just to be real with you all, real with everyone ever. So that's what I do. But yes, my week has been okay. I've actually been a bit sick this week, to be completely honest with you guys. I ended up having the Monday morning off work because I was sick all weekend. And I was actually sick most of last week, but the show must carry on. So we've been keeping up and carrying on. But I've definitely been resting in my downtime when I'm not at the gym a lot more than normal. So probably going to end up meaning that next week is going to be flat out when I've got like a hell of a list of things to accomplish that I haven't been doing this week while I've been sort of on the mend. And my training's been a little bit shitty. Not shitty, it's just been a little bit less intense. Like at Run Club last Friday, I ended up doing a bit of like a walk run situation. I didn't do my normal like pace 5Ks that I've usually been doing. Again, I've been sick. I still got all my sessions in last week. Surprisingly, sort of piped up for a session on Saturday morning in the gym, and I had like a pretty good session. It wasn't very intense, like my weights were low, but so I was definitely still listening to my body, but I did feel like I was like, oh, I think I'm getting better. Like this is really good. I'll actually train because I hadn't trained for the few days beforehand. Obviously, I did that walk run situation on Friday morning. And then anyway, I trained, and then I literally came home and like crashed, and then was in bed for like 2.5 days. So that was great. But I trained yesterday and I've just trained today, and my session has been pretty good, but definitely intensity is still not as amazing. You might be able to hear in my voice that I'm still a bit nasally, but definitely on the mend, which is a slate. So my week's been interesting, to say the least. I literally never get sick. Me and Phoebe were talking in the gym last week about how we haven't been sick all year. We're like, great. I've literally had like 2 sick days ever in like 7 years of being a coach and a business owner. Like 2 sick days ever, which is pretty good record if you ask me. And look, Monday wasn't really a sick day, so because I still went to work in the arvo, but I did get the girls to cover the morning, so that was like a bit of a situation, wasn't it? But yeah, week's been a bit average, to be fair. So keeping it real. But we have a really fun topic today, guys. So I thought so far we've talked about like, I don't know, learning about a person or education or bits and pieces like that. But today I wanted to do like, I guess, a trending situation or a thing that, those podcaster peoples do. And I wanted to talk about my 10 biggest icks in like the fitness world, the fitness industry, I guess sort of as a coach and as a gym owner, like my 10 biggest icks. Now, there's no order to these. I don't have them in most to least because they're like all sort of the same. I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to talk about it for a bit, and I'm just going to go through the list sort of thing. And you might find it a little bit interesting, a bit insightful, maybe a bit entertaining. You never know. but yeah, obviously people do these all the time. So there's so many icks, and this probably is not even my top 10. This is just 10. I guess I'm a very blunt person. For people who like know me well, will know I'm like quite blunt, and can be a bit emotionless sometimes. Maybe one would say rude, and I know it for those who know out there. Um, but I think that I've tried to pick ones that aren't too outrageous. But to be fair, the fitness industry is a pretty messed up place, because it is so flooded and there's lots of different opinions. And in a lot of ways, like it's one of those things where every single body will react to, a stimulus, a calculation, or whatever, differently. So it's not a one size fits all. So some people really believe in something and are really passionate, but still that may not suit everyone. And yes, there's obviously, scientific rules and research that's like, yes, this is what's best for X, Y, and Z. But in most ways, like, there's no best way to train. There's no best way to build muscle. There's no best rep range. Like, everyone is different and they adapt different. They react different. So this is just my personal one. It's not too deep. Let's just be serious. Like, we're just having a bit of fun here. So let's get into it. So for those listening in on the podcast platforms, I've actually got my diary in front of me right now because I have written my list in here. So first thing out of my 10 big fitness icks is fad diets. Okay, this is probably one that a lot of people were like, oh yeah, that's so true. Fad diet. It's because people think that by actually learning and actually working hard and actually changing their habits, they don't think it works, or they think, oh, it takes too much time or too much effort, or why would I not just do this easy, quick thing? Why would I not just, cut out all the carbs? Why would I just not fast for most of the day? Why would I not, cut out all these things, or whatever the bloody fad diet is, do a skinny tea, or even like a fat burner? Like, people believe in these things, and then we're unfortunately misleading so much of the general population to believe that if they do these fad diets, they are going to, be their happiest self, their best self. They're going to be their best physical form that they think, where it's all a lie, it's all a lie. Yes, you might lose lots of weight really fast. One, it's actually not healthy. And in the end, you actually want to be a healthy person. Even if, 20, 30 years of age and you're like, yeah, I look so hot, slay. But what if in 10 years' time you have to pay for all of the bad treatment you've given your body? If you haven't nourished your body properly, it will catch up to you. I hate to break it to you, and that's something that fad diets do. People undereat for years and years and years and years, and then, as just a very, an example, not super specific to anyone or anything, but, people go on all these fad diets. They're like, oh yeah, I don't eat carbs, or I'm fasting or whatever, lose all this weight, blah, blah, blah. They look super fit and healthy, and then they can't fall pregnant. It's a super, super common thing that happens, right? And it's because people's hormones have been so out of whack for so long because their nutrition is so poor, and they might still be eating healthy foods, but they might be under-eating or X, Y, and Z. So fad diets are a big to me. And this is why for our challenges, we base it around so much education. And I'm forever evolving our challenges to try and do my best to educate people on this. But it's really hard to change people's opinions on things when they are it's being forced down their throat or face, whatever the hell the saying is, on social media platforms and in magazines and, all these different things like, oh, if I just follow this 1,200 calorie diet for 12 weeks, I'm going to lose weight, or I do isogenic shakes or whatever, I'm going to lose weight. Well, yeah, you might lose weight for 12 weeks, but what happens after the 12 weeks? And you hear me say it, and I'll say it again, but you will put the weight back on. I'm telling you now. You will, because you haven't learned anything. So, fad diets. Boo. Boo to the fad diet. Number 2, the perfect gym goer. Now, this is just like an Olivia thing, and I think this is one of my icks because I'm not a perfect gym goer. So maybe if I was a perfect gym goer, I would have a different opinion on this. But I think the like appearance that people put out there on their social media platforms, where they always look so perfect at the gym, like they always have like their hair done, their makeup done, or whatever, they've got their beautiful matching set on, their form always looks perfect, they're having a slave of workout, they're always lifting heavy, doing PBs, like all these really great things. And like, don't get me wrong, I love watching other people's gym content. I love watching people who do, have wear great activewear and matching sets and they look put together. But I think a lot of people follow people on social media who that is all that what their content is, and their whole social media platform is unfortunately filled with all these people who look like models going to the gym, where real life, that's not reality. Like maybe for those girls it is, and maybe a lot of those girls, probably social media is majority of their job, so maybe they have the time to do that, and obviously they want to create beautiful content that is aesthetically pleasing. Like, I understand that, but I just think that there needs to be a bit more real people out there in the fitness industry. I'll say it now and I'll say it again. Like, we're all not perfect. We have shit workouts. We have workouts that we're sore. We're injured. We don't have matching activewear on. We have our tights on inside out. We have holes in our clothes. Like, we don't always wear the brand new latest drops of different collections. Like, it's just life. So that's an ick. Another ick. Ick 3 is just TikTok in general. The whole app. I post some videos on TikTok, some things of me maybe doing a dance or a workout with a video on it, a sound on it, whatever. But TikTok, so much false information, like so much. And like in our little community as Live Strong, I reckon I've had at least 25% of the gym, like people from the gym, mention a TikTok trend or some TikTok advice they had been given, and they've mentioned it to me, be like, oh, Liv, why don't we do it like this? Or, well, I'm going to do this, or, I've decided to do this at home, or whatever, because of a TikTok trend. And guys, TikTok is just flooded with so much information that is not true. You're getting information by people who are literally not even personal trainers. Like, and in saying that, some people are personal trainers and maybe have been, a PT for a week, or they've been a PT for a year and they haven't had much experience or whatever, and they're giving out information that maybe they haven't trialed themselves, or they haven't trialed with clients, or has no actual backing, and they're telling thousands of people and you guys are believing it. So, you just got to really look at the information that you're taking away from these social media platforms, because it's not always true. And even if the person has 1 million followers, it still may not be true. I tell you now. And unfortunately, a lot of people on social media lie to you. They're not actually telling you the truth. Maybe they don't actually do that thing that they're telling you. So, interesting. Okay. I sound like I hate social media, where I actually love social media. I think it really is able to educate so many people for free. Like, so much great information. Like, so many smart people are on social media giving out so much information, but there's just so much shit on there that I think it gets flooded and lots of stuff gets lost, which is sad. Number 4 is people not prioritizing being a strong human. Now, this is probably a biased one for me, because I love being strong. I love strength training. I love lifting weights, and I love teaching people to lift weights. That's literally like one of my biggest passions in life, is actually teaching people how to lift weights properly. Like, I love that part of my job. And I think a lot of people see exercise as exercise and don't think about what they're actually doing for their health and the positive effects it's going to have on their life, where being a strong human is so important in so many different ways. Like, you're able to function better for a longer period of time, especially as you get older, as we're aging population, as one would say. It is so important that we are strong. You're so much more capable to do so many things. Like, the ability when, you're moving house and you're a girl, a female, as we say, and, you can pick up the box, or you can help pick up the lounge, because you're strong, you're capable. You're not gonna get as injured as often, doing those, everyday activities. Being strong is so important. And I think, again, speaking as a female, that people shy away from lifting weights. They don't want to be bulky, they don't want to be this huge human. But guys, it doesn't do that to you. Sometimes I wish that I could grow really big muscles, but they don't grow that fast. And I try and try and try, but I'm not the biggest, muscliest person in the world. Yeah, I've got a decent amount of muscle on me, but I've also trained for many years and I've tried to put on muscle. But for most people, strength training 3 to 4 times a week ain't going to give you the biggest biceps in the world. I'm telling you now. So, yes, just being a strong human is so important, and we really shouldn't shy away from it. So people who tell me that they just don't want to lift weights, it makes me sad in my heart. And I try and educate everyone about how important it is to be strong and how beneficial lifting weights can be for so many different reasons, not just from the satisfaction of lifting weights in the gym, which I think is lots of fun. Okay, number 5, another one that I think a lot of people rant about, but transformation photo comparisons to be used as like promotion for a successful business. Now, I think progress photos are a really, really, really great way to see your progress in terms of physical change. I am a really big lover of my clients taking progress photos for their own benefits, and in some circumstances, it can be really great to share those results for the person's self-esteem. And again, yes, to show that what you're doing, you are making change to your body and you're achieving a goal, right? Now, I do think that is really beneficial. However, I think that a lot of people and a lot of businesses will share progress photos as like, look at this great result, you can get this too type of vibe. And people will be attracted to that because like, oh, I want to lose 10 kilos, and like that person in that photo did. But like I said at the beginning, guys, everyone is so different, and it's sort of like clickbait almost. It's like they're clickbaiting you into buy their product thinking you're going to get the same results as someone else did. So I think it's great to celebrate your results and celebrate change and hard work and progress and crushing goals. I think that's great. But in terms of when you see you see so many different businesses where like half of their feed is like comparison photos. And it's like, they might even be promoting like a 6-week challenge and they're like, these are great results I've had in the past. But like some of those photos could be like a whole year apart and they like don't disclaim this sort of information. And I just think that people buy into that. Again, social media being a bit manipulative, and people will buy into that. And then they'll get disheartened when they don't get the results and they've wasted their money, and maybe they don't realize that there's all this other stuff in the background that's happening for people to get the results. Or even worse, which I actually nearly forgot to talk about, is that they are photoshopped. You will not actually believe this, but businesses will Photoshop their progress photos so that they look better. I know, it's a bit crazy. It is crazy out here, but they actually do. So that's an ick from me. I think that's a bit icky. Again, every now and then it's fine. Share your client's slang. I'm all for that. Like I said, progress photos for the client itself, I love, because I'm not a fan of body scans. My clients know this. I do think for some people, they do have a time and a place, but I also just think for a large amount of the population, the number of your body fat percentage isn't really the be all and end all of your being, and people get caught up on the number, and it can be really mentally challenging. I think seeing that sort of data, and you could be getting results, you could be losing fat, but let's say you have your heart set on losing X amount of percentage of body fat and you don't do it, and then you think like you haven't worked hard, and I think it's just a cycle that just goes a bit cray-cray. So I don't get my clients to do body scans, but we definitely focus on progress photos because I think it's a really great way to actually see the change in your face. Okay, that's halfway through. Hopefully you're with me still. The next one is a bit controversial, so we might have to have a sip of water out of my really broken Frank Green, which, you know why it's so bad? It's because I put it in the dishwasher. Don't think you meant to do that, but it helps clean it. So, health professionals are my ick. Lol. So this one is obviously not specific at all, and it's also not across the board at all. So there's really amazing health professionals out there. My beautiful fiance Nathan is a health professional. He's a physiotherapist, and he helps so many people and is so great, and we need him in our life, right? But as an overarching little comment, just a little comment, not a big comment, I do believe that a lot of people out there don't care about my clients as much as I care about them, which is honestly so fair. Like, I care about all my clients a lot. I know a lot about their lives. I know a lot about their health, their journey, and I pride myself in that. And I literally want all of my clients to be the healthiest, strongest, fittest people that they want to be. I truly do. And I think that when people have problems, you know, whether it's injuries or a health concern or maybe like hormonal concerns is a very common one for the gals, and they go and speak to a GP or a physio or a chiro or an osteo or whoever, a specialist, it could be anyone. And I think a lot of the time they will give them a very blanket answer, and it may be leading my poor client down a path that they may not need to go down. Are you with me? Again, this is definitely not everyone, but I just think, sort of relating to what Nath said the other day, how, you know, when he had finished his first degree and he was getting frustrated that, you know, his injured clients would go and see a physio or someone, and then he would then have to follow the physio's instruction, which is 100% what I do as well. Any health professional advice I take on 100%, I'll implement with my client 100%. But with knowing in the back of his head that maybe there was something else that could be done or something else that could be beneficial for this person, but we obviously can't speak above that person. And then Nate's obviously done his physio, so now he's the health professional and I listen to him, right? So yeah, I just think that sometimes they don't always have like your best interest and your goals, and don't know enough about you to be giving to sort of telling you things. So then people are, you know, either limiting their training, or they maybe just have no idea what they need to be doing with their training. Like, they're really clueless. They're seeing this person, but they're still clueless. Or in the hormonal factor, I think a lot of girls would agree with me that, like, you talk to your GP about contraception or issues with your period and all these things, but they don't care as much as you care. And I don't know how this problem could ever be fixed, because, you know, GPs and physios, they see so many people a day and they don't have that relationship that I have with my clients. So I don't think that they can be expected to do that. But I find it annoying myself when I'm like, oh, I really wish you saw that person and you got more help, or you got more advice, or you understood your problem or your issue or your concern more, and you haven't just sort of been palmed off. So again, I try and educate my clients as much as I can to, I guess, be an advocate for their own health, and to also ask questions when they're in appointments, because I think that that's really important, and sometimes we don't know what questions to ask. But for me, can be an ick. So anyway, that's a long story about my health professional shit chat. Again, there are some that are really, really amazing and are super helpful and will guide their clients. Some will even like send me an email or give me a call and be like, you know, Joe Blow, this is their injury, or this is what we're concerned about, or this is the medication they're on, and we just need to monitor this when they're training. And like, I really appreciate those people who will go out of their way, but not everyone has that time. So like I said, I don't really know how this problem gets fixed, but it's an ick. So icky. Number 7, the people who want change but won't change themselves. This is more like a frustrating thing. I don't think it's an ick, because I think it's something that people will over time develop, and it just takes you have to be ready for change. You can't just be wanting change and then do nothing about it. And I think a lot of people either sign up at the gym or they have intentions of doing more or changing things or changing their eating habits or whatever it is. But no matter how much guidance or education or help or reassurance or assistance or support I can give these people or the person or the client or the friend or the family member, whoever it is in your life, but if they don't actually want to change, they won't change. And I guess it's going on my ick list, but it's also a bit of it's something that you've got to be like persistent with the person, and I understand that, and it's actually part of my job, so I do it, but I do it every day. But it's something that can be definitely frustrating as part of my job as well. Something that you really want to help someone, but they just can't quite, it's not quite clicking for them yet, and you can't force them to do the change. So you've got to let them sort of learn that little hard thing themselves. So again, don't really know if it's an ick or it's just a hard part of my job. But anyway, I had it on the list, so there you go. Number 8 is a bit of an ick and a bit of a hard part of my job as well, is that I don't have time sentence. Because there's a few different avenues here. No one has time because we all live 24 hours a day, right? And everyone still lives those 24 hours. And technically, you will fill those hours with something. Whether it's sitting on the lounge, you've filled that with your sitting on the lounge time. So you fill those 24 hours in. So at some point, yeah, no one has time to add in an hour in exercise, but you will make time. You will make time. Now, some people are busier than others. Some people think they're busier and then they'll talk to old mate and then they'll be like, oh, shitballs, you are actually really busy. Like, we have girls at the gym who are full-time uni students and work full-time job. Like, you're so busy. We have people at the gym who are mums, work, and at uni. We do have one of those, and she is crazy. We have, ladies who are full-time mums with full care of their kids who they can't bring their kids to the gym. They, like, at Livestrong, you can bring your kids to the gym, but they don't want to bring their kids to the gym or they can't for X, Y, and Z reasons. We have people who do shift work, people who do 12-hour shifts, 4 of them are night shifts a week. Like, people literally hardly have any time in their week. But the way I always think about it is no matter your life, your profession, your livelihood, if you don't make time for your health, like, what are you actually making time for? Because your health should be up there with the number one thing in your life. Like, the parents out there, I'm sure your kids' health is your number one thing in your life. I don't have kids, so I can't actually talk on that behalf. But, like, for me, I love, like, my fiance, I love my family. I love so many things. I'm so passionate and I would do anything for them. But if I'm not my healthiest self, I cannot give 100% love to them. I can't help them. I can't support them because I haven't looked after myself. Like, if I end up being a really unhealthy, unhappy person, I can't give 100% to everyone else in my life. So if your job or whatever it is controlling your life so much that you can't do something positive for yourself, your own health, something like probably needs to change, and you probably need to reflect on that. So some people don't have time, like I said, but it needs something needs to change. I'm telling you now. Now, some people can train 5 days a week. That's great. Some people can only train 2 times a week, and that's okay. Like, maybe that's all that suits you right now. That's all that you can make work, but that's better than nothing, and you need to understand that. But I think, some people will use the I don't have time excuse sentence situation without actually really looking at their day and seeing where their priorities align. Because maybe that same person falls in the I want change but won't change situation. Like, they want to train 3 days a week, but they won't get up an hour earlier in the morning to train. Like, so we need to have a bit of leeway and a bit of lesson learnt in situation. Okay, we're getting there. Number 9, and you probably hear like my voice is getting progressively worse sitting here, so I need to wrap it up so I can go and breathe. Number 9, the grind mentality, which I am really bad at actually. So I probably am my own biggest ick. So that's an issue. But I think in the fitness industry, we see that like I get up at 4 a.m. and I go for a run, and then I have breakfast, and then I go home and I do a stretch class or something, I don't know. Then I go to work for 9 hours, and then I do a gym class in the afternoon, and then I go home and I'll not watch TV and I'll listen to a podcast because I want to be learning, I want to be bettering myself, and then I'll sleep for 8 hours and I get up and I run again at 4 a.m. Like this idea that it's like boom, 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 I'm Superwoman, I can do everything, where that's not real life. Like, you will burn out. I hate to tell you, you can't do a million things. You need rest, you need to recover, you need to have a life, you need to be happy, you need to sit and laugh, you need to enjoy a good TV show every now and then. Like, grinding, you shouldn't be getting a medal for being the busiest person in the room. Like, that's not actually something that necessarily you should be proud of. Luxury is having time. Like, that is a blessing. A blessing is to have time, like time that you could be doing something that you love. You could be spending time with people that you love. You could be working on a hobby. You could be learning. Like, that is a luxury in life. So I guess something that, we think, oh, that person is so good because they get up so early and they hustle all day and they don't seem to burn out. Like, me being sick this past week is a sign of me burning out, and like, I'm not proud of that because I understand I shouldn't do that. Naughty Olivia. And always around challenge time, I end up burning out to some degree because I do so much on the back end for it, which doesn't really matter, but that's my own grind mentality that is messed up, and I need to obviously work on that. I'm here reflecting. It's like we're in a psychology situation here, like you're my little psych over in the screen or the phone. But yeah, I understand that's not good because being busy isn't actually meaning that you're winning at life. So grind mentality, not a slave. And my last one is competitiveness. Competitiveness in lots of things. So competitiveness with like people in the fitness industry, like different PTs, different businesses. Like, I feel like Newcastle is a place of like fit people. I feel like because we live by the beach, I don't really know, but I feel like we actually have quite a fit town. Like, we run a lot of like sporting events here. I don't know, I think it's very trendy to like go for like a hot girl walk in Newcastle. Like, I feel like we live a very, we're surrounded by a lot of healthy people. Therefore, a lot of gyms. Like, there's so many gyms, so many PTs, so many different businesses, online coaches, petite gyms, commercial gyms, like so many things. And like, to be fair, I feel like a lot of people in Newcastle in the fitness industry do not get on. To be honest, I actually just stay in my own lane. I think I am very good at, I don't really associate with anyone. I sort of just do my own thing. I always have, I always will. I'm always happy to like connect with people and talk to people. If anyone ever reached out for help, like, I've always sent a message back and stuff like that. But I'm not really someone to, I don't know, I just don't really like hang in those circles. I just sort of do my own thing, which I'm fine by. I think that's great. Don't really have anything about people hanging in other circles, but for me, I just do my own thing. Where I think a lot of people have issues with other people, and then it's like, oh my God, there's just always things happening. So, yes, I think it's a very competitive industry in Newcastle to be in, but everyone, like, the thing is, there's a lot of people in the world, so there needs to be a lot of gyms. Like, there's enough gyms for everyone around here. Like, so if everyone just worked on being their best PT, best trainer, best gym, best online coach, whatever, like, everyone would have clients. But I think some people get worried about what other people are doing, and I'm like, just do your own thing, bro. But so that's like the business side of things. But then I also think in terms of like people in their own training, like, people look at other people, be like, oh, I should be doing that, or my friend is a really good runner, I wish I could run like them. We're like, everyone's on their own journey. Stay in your own lane, people. Don't worry about what other people are doing. It's a competitive world. Everyone thinks they've got to be the fittest, leanest, strongest, best version of themselves all year round. That's not real life. Like, just be a normal person. You know, have your good days, have your bad days, have your strong days, your weak days. You have your times when, you know, you've put on a little bit of body fat. Maybe you're really stressed. Maybe you're trying to put on body fat. Maybe you're trying to gain more muscle. Maybe, you know, something really busy's happening in your life. Something traumatic's happened in your life. Maybe you've got an injury. Maybe then you're really motivated. You're working towards a goal. You know, you've started a different training program or whatever. And then you work really hard. So many different things, guys. Like, don't need to be competitive. Anyway, I feel like I've talked a really long time today, and I'm sure you guys are over me, but let me know if this has been somewhat interesting, hearing about a few of my opinions. Overall, I think the fitness industry is great, and there's so much great information out there for people to receive for free. I think a lot of people give out too much free information, and you know, I guess sometimes we sell ourselves a bit short. I guess I know I definitely do, because health and fitness is something that affects every single person out there. So I guess takeaways from this, maybe look at who you're following on Instagram. See if they are a positive or negative, if they put positive or negative thoughts into your brain, because I've done that before when, like, I follow a lot of bodybuilding. It's a sport I love to follow. But I think sometimes when I follow a lot of the bikini girls, they will post a lot, like a lot of the time they're posting their comp photos and, you know, stuff like that when they are really lean. And it can be mentally challenging following people who are lean so often, and it's covering your feed, so I unfollow them. So maybe you need to do the same. Go through Instagram feed. Are these people being positive or negative? Are they giving you entertainment, education? Are they making you feel in a good way, or are they making you feel negative? They're putting self-doubt in your brain. I guess another big one is my health professionals chat. I guess always just make sure that you're asking questions when you're talking to someone. If you don't feel confident with what someone's telling you, get a second opinion. You know, be an advocate for your own health. And I guess that's probably it. Also, do you like my Christmas decorations, like my little candy canes? Also, I think I've told you guys about my fly issue with my little bugs. So I've got these little traps in my trees. If you're listening on the podcast, you can't see, but I've got my little fly traps, which has been solving the fly issue. But candy canes, so cute. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you listening in to me ranting. We've got another guest on next week. Drum roll. Who is it? Haha, you'll have to wait and see. Hope you've been enjoying it. Make sure you let me know if you've enjoyed it and you've listened. Like I said, I know a lot of clients listen to this. If you've liked this, can you message me and let me know? Like, I want feedback because I'm just sitting in my lounge room rambling. I think this is going to go for like 40 minutes. So sorry. Also, if you think, Liv, I didn't really care about your opinions or whatever, or you have an opinion on my opinion, message me. I actually want to know. Anyway, guys, have a beautiful week. Have a beautiful life. This is Liv reporting from the Live Strong podcast. I really need an outro and some music and stuff, but I don't. So peace out, bro.